let's make one more modification to our day class to improve it. We have a method called schedule_event, which schedules a single event if it does not overlap with an existing event. We return true if the event is scheduled and false otherwise. We're going to add a schedule multiple events method. Here's the docstring for it. What we'd like to be able to do is to pass in a list of events rather than one single event, and have the function schedule the events and let us know how many of them were successfully scheduled. In order to add multiple events, we'll use the schedule event method that's already written in the class. To do that, we'll iterate over each event in the event list. So for event in event list. And for each event, we'll call the schedule event method. So we're going to call the schedule event method on this object. So we can say self.schedule event and pass in event. Notice here that to call a method from inside a class, we call it just like we would outside of a class. So here's one in the docstring. But instead of referring to the variable name for the object outside the class, we refer to self here. So this will call schedule event with each event in the event list. One more requirement of this function was that we return exactly how many of them were successful. So here we're going to need an int accumulator. So let's call that count. Count is 0. And then we'll only accumulate our count if this returns true. So we'll change this to be if this function or this method returns a Boolean, so we can use it as is. If this function returns true, then we'll set count to be count plus 1. And if it returns false, we'll do nothing. The final thing that we do is return the count.